Hello again, welcome to another video. Recently been reading a book called When Nietzsche Wept by a psychologist called Irving Yalom. Irving Yalom is an existential psychiatrist really, and he writes what he calls our teaching novels about existential philosophy and how philosophy applies to our modern day lives, and how the writings and teachings of older philosophers can help us. And in this instance it's the philosopher Nietzsche, who was a German philosopher writing about 150 years ago, and like all philosophers writing about life. And he, again, like all philosophers, suggests ways in which we might improve our lives, how to live, what to do, how to take the loan of life, because it is said that time devours everything and gives nothing back. So we have to take this life. I said in another video on here about the philosopher Montaigne, and he said that our lives are a little spark in between two pools of dark blackness. So all we've got is a little tiny spark in the middle, and before us is bleak blackness, and after us is bleak blackness. As far as we know, there might be a great afterlife, who knows. But if Montaigne's right, then this little spark that we've got in the middle, perhaps we should take that and make the most of it. It's sometimes very difficult to make the most of it if we're assailed by anxiety or depression, and that is really sad, because then you feel it's impossible to live. It's alright saying live life high, live the high life, take life, live every day as if it's your last, all those cliches, but it's very difficult to actually do if you feel you're plagued with anxiety and depression, or you just can't get out, or maybe you've got a disability of some kind, and that's really difficult to say that the only life we've got, I can't fully live it. I have a thing that about the old thing about a glass being half full and half empty. It can't really be that actually logically, but I always think of life as being like this bottle of water. There it is, almost full, and I think when we're born we've got a virtually full bottle, and it's how we choose to drink the bottle, what we choose to do. We've only ever got really two choices, either to go this way or that way. So there we've got the bottle of water, and how we choose to drink it, how we choose to use it, is up to us. Some of us have got a dirty bottle of water, some of us have got a posh bottle from a nice hotel like this, and some of us have no water in it at all, which is obviously really sad. Now some of us, say we've got a bottle of reasonably nice water, which this is, some of us fear taking the top off and drinking it because it makes us nervous. We say, well, we can't really drink that water because what would it be like if we taste it? So we approach it with trepidation. It's quite nice actually, and just take a sip of it and think, it's too risky to carry on. So we leave it, and we think, say part of the water is having children, part of the water is getting married, different life stages. Part of the water is doing a degree maybe, part of the water is getting the car you always wanted, or moving to a nice area, or emigrating to Australia because you've always wanted to do that. Each one of these gulps is a different stage in life, and whether we choose to drink or not is up to us. We could believe in a religion where we believe in an afterlife, and we become convinced that life will be better. So in that case, we don't have to drink too deeply. Because if we drink too deeply, then we might risk losing our chance of an afterlife. We might be seen as being greedy. We might covet our neighbour's wife. We might covet our neighbour's ass. And then, if we don't drink at that bottle of life, it might be that we get to being 50-year-old and we find out, or we might be 60, and we find out there's that much left. That's if we've used some life. So, if we're 60 and there's that much life left, maybe we've got a third left at 60, maybe we've got 30 years left if we're lucky. And if we've drank well in life, or maybe we've done a degree and coveted our neighbour's ass, maybe we've got the car, the house, the degree, the children, and everything's going well, and we've got that much life left. But what if we get to 60 and we've still got that much life left and we haven't drunk at all? Or even worse, what if we get to 85 and we haven't drunk at life, or the bottle's still full? Do we then say, well, we'll get our rewards in heaven? And do we ameliorate ourselves with religion? Or do we drink quickly because we can't do at 85 what we could do at 25? So we've got a lot of living to do then in that case. Or do we work hard all our lives just to leave it to someone else? It's a very difficult question. Or do we live big? Do we live large like George Michael did and go out young on a, big bang, drug-addled and crazed on whatever he was on, and go out very young, age 53 I think he was. So I think the tragedy would be is to let depression and anxiety assail us to such a degree that we end up with that much water left when we're 85, never having lived. And if we did that, some people so fear they so fear death that they can't take the loan of life. So they spend all their lives putting things off, not drinking, not getting married, not doing anything they ever wanted to, get to 85 and think, well, I haven't lived, it's all there. As well as this book about Nietzsche, which is a great read. There's a classic book by the Russian writer Tolstoy called The Death of Ivan Ilyich, and in that he describes someone who finds it difficult to die. He finds it difficult to die because he hasn't lived according to his truth, according to his own expectations. What he's done is just deferred everything, put everything off. I'll do it another day, I'll wait until such a body does this, or I'll wait for this, I'll wait for that. And what's happened is he's not lived at all. So he finds it difficult to die. So he's on his deathbed and he's not drank from life. So he's on his deathbed, this poor Ivan Ilyich bloke, and he's got a full bottle left. He hasn't had anything, he hasn't done anything, he hasn't been anywhere. Fear's held him back. And if it's anxiety that is holding you back, one of the great writers on anxiety who I've mentioned in other videos is called Claire Weeks. Any book by her is a great book for treating anxiety. If it's anxiety that's holding you back, she has a great phrase in there, and the phrase is, it's a sentence, recovery lies in the places we avoid. So if we're avoiding to drink at life, metaphorically, what we should do is drink, and drink very deeply, because life is short, and if recovery lies in the places we avoid, we should face that. Try to do as much as possible in this tiny spark in the middle that we've got, that Montaigne talks about, that tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of life in the middle. We should use it, drink it fully, and it's, as it says on this ring that I've got, carpe diem, seize the day. Alright, till next time, see you soon. Thank you for watching again.